How do you honestly feel? And I said, if you have children for one instant, for 1 second, you pick a child and think, how about if I never saw them again? And they kind of takes their breath away and they're like, wow. And maybe parents that their child has been in an accident or really close to death, they might have a little bit of an inkling, but it's still not set in stone. Once they're gone, they're gone. The hardest thing for me was after planning my daughter's funeral is getting her stone. And even then, when I placed it on there, it was really a reality check for me, because here was an actual, not even the death certificate then, there was really an actual place that I could see now that my child was there. And that's very hard. It's very hard when you actually do see your child's picture on a stone, and that's the closest. I know when I fly, if I can fly, it gets expensive, but when I do have a chance to fly somewhere, I know that's the, I do get a little bit emotional, because that is the closest that I'm ever going to be to my child until I die. My mom always said, in life, nothing is guaranteed, and everything is fixable but a death. And I do believe we do go to bed angry, and it is okay. But just try, if you wake up the next day, just, even if your child is upset and they don't want to hear it, tell your child you love them, tell your parents you love them. Because honestly, when I got up that morning, I never would have thought that my child wasn't going to be here that evening. And it will hit you hard. And it is true, they say the first year of your child's death, you honestly don't remember a lot of things. And I would have to go back and look at her books where people signed in. I had people out telling me, what a beautiful home you have. And I was like, how would you know what my home looks like? And they're like, because we were there when your daughter passed away. And honestly, for the first year or two, there's a lot of things you won't remember. As the days go by and the years, you do start remembering things, and you start cherishing, and you will never forget that day up until the second you got that phone call that your child has passed away. Or they told me mine was in surgery. I didn't get to see my child, and I thought, oh, they're gonna fix her up, they're gonna, they actually told me we're pumping her heart, and I was still thinking, oh, okay, well, they're gonna, her ribs are gonna heal. And the hardest thing for me was they asked me, does she have any identifying marks? And she had just got a tattoo that I was so upset with her on her foot, and like 3 months before. So I thought she's so disfigured they can't tell what she looks like. Honestly, when I first saw her, she was still warm. She had just passed away. So I thought, well, why were they asking me about an identifying mark? Legally they have to do that. And if you saw her lying down, I even had friends whispering back here, is she dead? Or, is she just asleep? Because honestly, she had no cuts anywhere on her body but on her fingers, where she tried to shield the glass coming at her. And she actually fell on my niece too. She fell on my niece, and that's what saved my niece. And I still remember them coming in and saying, those famous words that you only see in a movie, we did all we could and we couldn't save your child. And I know compassionate friends. If I didn't have compassionate friends, I probably would have already gone crazy. Really. I honestly do see how I have known parents that have committed suicide after a child's death. And I honestly can see why they would. Because your whole world just ended. It changed, and it's never going to be the same. And I have people telling me, you don't smile like you used to, and I never will, because you do have a piece that's always going to be missing. And I just smile a little bit different. You learn, honestly, to be tougher. You're not as compassionate with the smaller things in life. You're not as interested in material things.